Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly get this?
You already know who it is. The Zen Gamer Nintendo, the one and only king of logic.
And I'm going to expose you for the fraud that you are once and for all. And not just as a professional fraud, but as a personal fraud as well.
The Nintendo industry? What's that? Oh, it's very simple, my friends. Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. The Nintendo industry is the video game industry, but the video game industry, in my opinion, and according to what I've been seeing, is entirely mislabeled. The video game industry died back in the 80s during the video game crash. That was the video game industry. It's dead and remains dead to this day. What took its place is not a new industry, not a revived industry, courtesy of Nintendo. Nothing, none of that. What replaced it was the Nintendo industry. An industry rebuilt from the ground up by Nintendo, fueled by Nintendo, pushed forward by Nintendo. And if it weren't for Nintendo, it would collapse inward on itself. Very bold claims, you're probably saying, but I'm prepared to back it up.
But in Japan, gaming is alive and well. It's alive and well.
The collapse of the home video game business was really a U.S. market thing. It was not something that had occurred in Japan. It was really a U.S. market thing. It was not something that had occurred in Japan. It was really a U.S. market thing.
I swear to God, Nintendo fans have to be some of the most retarded gamers on the planet. That they think they can go back in time and rewrite history as they see fit. Now apparently there was this magical video game crash that happened in the early 80s that pretty much wiped all of gaming off the planet, and Nintendo came down and saved all of gaming. Now, to my knowledge, I didn't know there was a video game crash in Japan. To my knowledge, I didn't know there was a video game crash in Europe. And to my knowledge, I didn't know that computers were failing in North America. Because they weren't. For anybody who is an idiot and a moron who thinks that Nintendo saved the entire planet with gaming, look at the title of the article. North American Video Game Crash of 1983. Keyword North American. Effect on world gaming markets. You know, people, the world, not just America. Marketing research for both the gaming and the home computer industries tracked the change as millions of consumers shifted their attention to buy choices from game consoles to low-end computers that retail for similar prices but still allowed access to comparable games. Consoles had already been largely marginalized in Europe by 1984, thus leaving the North American video game crash with little effect for the European market. Thus, you moronic Nintendo fans, Europe was not affected by a video game crash. Europe was not revitalized by Nintendo. Continuing, as video game consoles only had a minor share in the European market until nearly the end of the 1980s, computer gaming became the established tradition there, and Nintendo failed to make an impact with the NES. Overall, however, console games never became as popular as computer gaming in Europe, and PC compatibles would not become dominant until Commodore's demise in the mid-90s. Continuing on. Japan's home market, meanwhile, was effectively insulated from the rest of the world, and the crash had little more effect there than in Europe. Thus, the only thing that ever crashed in gaming was North America, and not PCs, but consoles. So this magical fairy tale you Nintendo morons keep talking about, where you time travel back in time to rewrite history, to create a world where Nintendo saves all of gaming, never existed.